Now, last weekend's 6th anniversary tournament obviously had a huge focus on Silver Age, but we also got gameplay and the rest of the spoiler reveals from the upcoming Armory deck, Rhinar. Now, what's interesting about this one is it's not legal for Worlds, but because it releases Worlds Weekend, if you're there for side events or maybe some of the other tournaments going on, it will be legal for those. And if you're one of those people, well, this deck is a banger. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends. Welcome back to the channel, and happy Flesh and Blood Monday, using today's video to talk Armory deck Rhinar, which, a week ago for the 6th anniversary stream, we did get some gameplay and we got the rest of the spoilers for this. And like I said in the intro, I think this deck's really, well, to be fair, we haven't seen the deck list. So to say the deck itself is good is, I don't know yet. Wait, we don't know yet. But I really like a lot of what's going on in this. And especially if you're someone who's looking forward to Silver Age, a lot of the cards in this deck are actually pretty legitimate for that, in my opinion. And I'll explain what I mean and why I'm excited, and let's get into it. So first off, let's talk Rhinar, his current status overall. Now, obviously, there's been some people out there doing things with Rhinar, but by and large, if you're playing Brute, you're looking at Armed Kayo, right? I think we mostly accept that. But Rhinar's always had a lot of really good math on his side. Now, when I say that, I need you to understand that coming out of heavy hitters, I took down a Commoner Crawl event with Club Rhinar, leaning heavily into this card right here, Bonebreaker Bellow. I was a huge fan of the beat chest mechanic coming out of heavy hitters. So to remind you, well, I mean, it's up already, but beat chest says, as an additional cost to play this, you may discard a card with 6 or more. Now, there's a various arc, there's an arc of cards that each get a different effect if you have beat chest. But what's cool about this, obviously, with Rhinar is that is an intimidate trigger. So if you run into a card that says, if you've beat chest intimidate or something like that's effectively a double intimidate, okay? And what is also cool about beat chest is beat chest is a static effect for the turn as long as you've done it. So for example, on Bonebreaker Bellow, if we were to beat chest on Bonebreaker Bellow and then go into another card that looked for beat chest, you wouldn't have to beat chest again on that card, okay? So with all that aside, or not aside, it's very relevant. But I'm very excited because this deck itself is going heavy into this mechanic, and I really, really, really like this mechanic with our OG Brute. Okay, we'll see what it means going forward, but with our OG Brute, this is very, very, very strong. Okay, now let's go into the new stuff first, because that's what's exciting. So we did get a new-ish set of equipment. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Goliath Gauntlet, the arm slot, obviously is not a new card, but we did get new art for it. I actually really, really, really like that they're doing this for the Armory decks. Honestly, I hadn't really thought of it, but like we've seen Snappies it was in the Boltyn deck, I believe. Should have been new art. No, it wasn't. He had his Winged Warpath. There was Snappies in one deck, I'm pretty sure. Either way, I like the new art. I like the new art changing the thing, but it's not a new card. Now, if we go into the headpiece, this is what's very interesting because you do see it as a blue dot on it, right? So the Echo Cask, I think, whenever you beat chest, you can pay 1 and destroy this if you do draw a card and it's got Battle 1 Worn. Basically everything you think you're going to be looking for in Silver Age, right? But even so, not too shabby. Obviously in Constructed, I think you're still going to be running Flesh Bag because that card's pretty good. Card's pretty good. Now, this next card, Torque of Vim, this one's very interesting from the standpoint of what we'll talk about of not wanting to have a chest piece today. So whenever you beat chest, you can destroy this. If you do, the next Brute attack action card you play this turn costs 2 less to play. Also Battle Worn 1. Now, this one's Majestic, so not Silver Age relevant. But think about that, right? So you beat chest, you destroy this, you get money back, or you get a discount, whatever you want to say, and then you don't have a chess piece anymore for the point of many things we're going to be talking about in the future. And then last, we have Trampling Trackers. Whenever you beat chess, you can destroy this if you do create an agility token with Temper 2, also Majestic. It seems okay. I think you're probably, maybe if you're beat chest heavy, maybe, but you know, Scabbies is a thing. I know people hate Scabbies, but Scabbies is a thing. So that's all very interesting. So let's go ahead and lead into, I mean, let's just talk about it, right? Bear Destruction. Okay, Bear Destruction, beat chest. So this is a 2-drop. Well, that 2 is very convenient with the chest piece we just talked about, right? But so you can beat chest to this, but when it attacks, if you've beaten chest this turn and you don't control a chest, that's going to go again, and the next brute attack action card gets +2. So obviously you can see the, pie in the sky. It's actually not really a pie in the sky combo, if we're being honest, right? It's really not. It's kind of the point. But you do this, it becomes free. So you beat chest on something. You pop the chest piece. This becomes free, and then you pay your next one normally. Now, if you are Bonebreaker Bellowing, for example, you actually don't need to beat chest to this card, right? So you'd have already done it. You'd have chucked one of their card. You come in with this, and then you come in with another one, basically off of a blue. That's pretty awesome. Now, that's card intensive, but that's pretty cool. Now, for the point of Silver Age, I do want to point out this is a Majestic. Okay, this is a Majestic. So, and it does seem to want to go pretty well with the chest piece, but you know what else you have? Savage Sash, which can make those 2 2s you were going to play both 1, so effectively the same with upside. So lots of possibilities there, because remember, you would have popped Sash. Now, in the vein of Bonebreaker Bellow, we do have Smell Fear. Now, this is present at the blue and the yellow, at least to our current knowledge, and that was what was shown with their spoiler reveal, so I do believe that's the case. But Smell Fear is a 0, does block 3, of course, but it's a non-attack that says beat chest, and if you've beaten chest this turn, intimidate. Your next attack gets this. If you've intimidated 2 or more times this turn, it gets +3. So what this is doing is it's intimidating twice. So you chuck a 6 to intimidate twice and get +3 or +2 based on the pitch. This fits right in kind of the same vein with Bonebreaker Bellow. Obviously, it's not as much of a bonus, but you get the double intimidate off of it. And again, as long as you're doing what you need to do, I mean, there's no point in playing this card if you can't do it. So you're going to get a double intimidate off of Rhinar. Probably nobody else. I mean, I guess I was going to say probably nobody else plays this. The reality is, does anybody else even play beat chest? I think probably not, at least for right now, right? By probably nobody else is playing beat chest except Rhinar, right? I don't think. But this card looks really good, and 2 of these with a full rainbow of Bonebreaker Bellow, that's a pretty good setup, because these can come out first. And again, it's a targeted discard. That's the biggest thing about bait chest, is being a targeted discard versus, the random thing that has screwed so many brutes so much over the course of the game. Now let's come to Bear Swing here. Okay, so this also has beat chest. But when this attacks, if you've beaten chest this turn and you don't control a chest equipment, this gets +2. Now this one's a 3, so that makes it a little harder in terms of doing your math. And yes, maybe you hit the chest piece or whatever to make it happen. The chest piece is very, very, very interesting. But again, this is Silver Age compatible. The chest piece is not Silver Age compatible. So you do have to make sure that your math is straight here. Okay. But this also seems, again, you can blue to this and chuck a 6, intimidate, and it's a 3 for 8 with an intimidate. It's a 3-card hand, so that's not, it's okay. It's okay, right? I don't think that's classic constructed playable, but Silver Age, that might get the job done. And remember, again, I'm a huge fan of the whole club thing within a beat chest build, if you can get everything working. So overall, these are all the new cards. Oh, to be fair, I skipped over Alpha Instinct. My apology. We had already seen this one. So this is a 3 for 6 Majestic, but it's a Rhinar spec. It has 0 defense, but when it's discarded to beat chest, create a might token. That's really good, right? So, because again, beat chest, targeted discard. I can discard the one I want. I don't have to do some weird thing where I only have one card left in hand, right? I can do what I want to and get potentially multiple intimidates, a might token for the backside. This card's really good, but again, this one's a Majestic. So let's talk. I know I've been talking kind of Silver Age as we've been going, because that's what I'm excited about right now. Let's just own it. But impacts in Classic Constructed, the math on beat chest is actually very strong. And that's why I opened this cast with, me, someone who historically hasn't been a brute player. After I came out of heavy hitters, I was like, wow, I really like beat chest going into club with the +1 and the intimidate. That's really strong, just as a basic move right off of Bonebreaker Bellow. So where I'm going with this is there's really good value with beat chest Rhinar. Now, in Classic Constructed, with where it is right now, in terms of, there's not a ton of disruption, if we're being honest, with the big three in the meta right now. There's not a ton of disruption. Is he able to match the output of like a Syndra? I don't think so. Does Gravy really care if he's being intimidated? I don't know. I guess if you pull like his one blocking card, I suppose, but now you got to worry about allies and discarding cards to maybe get those allies. So I don't know. I don't know about Classic Constructed. The math is there, but, Classic Constructed needs more than math, right? I think we all know that. On the other hand, Silver Age heavily leans itself towards more mathematical. There seems like some really, really, really strong tools for Silver Age out of this one. I very much think that if they do decide to have some side events that are Silver Age at Worlds Weekend, meaning they would have to change their questionable schedule at this point. I shouldn't say that. It's a fine schedule. It's just not, it's good, not great. But there could be Silver Age stuff. I think there should be. But if you were going to play that, or just doing side events, or not side, like side play, like, at the tap house or the coffee shop with your buddies, I think this looks really good. Now, is this enough? Rhinar right now, he has a fair number of LL points. He's a 1.5 multiplier. So what's interesting about this with all the M's is if Rhinar does come out and swing big for definitely a pun there, which isn't even super. That's actually okay. You could Bonebreaker Bellow into that, I suppose. Why not? It's Comfort 13 on Intimidate. Why not? Or Smell Fear into it, as it may be. Why not? Why not? It wouldn't be 13 in that case, but you get the point. Yeah, that works, I suppose. So let's say Rhinar does come out and swing big, or he shows some strength, or, whatever it may be. At that 1.5 multiplier, it's not going to take him all that much to cross the line, right? In the grand scheme of things. So that's going to be something to watch. I don't know that he's going to be super impactful in CC, but, if the meta shifts or whatever it may be, or the smart kids come out with something that I'm just not seeing right now, which is completely fathomable, he could climb really, really quick, and we could be left without the OG big green boy right here. So anyway, I think this Armory deck looks really good. I do want to see the full list. I haven't seen it as the time I'm shooting this. Maybe it'll be out by the time it does. That's fine. If it is, please link it for other folks below. I would appreciate that if it's there. But either way, the cards in it are going to lend themselves really good to, a fundamental play pattern that's going to work with Rhinar here really, really well. So anyway, that'll do it for today. Thanks for joining, my friends, and go Commando.